An unearthed interview exposes the complicated truth about Elvis's lover. Elvis and Priscilla Presley's love affair is remembered as one of the greats. But as it turns out, there was another woman in the late King of Rock and Roll's life. This secret lover was one of Elvis's co-stars, and a rediscovered interview finally reveals the truth about their covert romance on and off the screen. Said woman is stunning Swedish actress Anne Margaret. Incidentally, she'd been associated with Elvis long before the two of them even met. At the beginning of her singing career, you see, she'd been marketed as a feminine version of Elvis due to their similar vocal qualities. And this led to Anne Margaret working with Elvis's very own backup singers, the Jordanaires, even releasing a cover of his smash hit Heartbreak Hotel. It seems then that Elvis and Anne Margaret were destined to meet. And this is exactly what happened in 1963 when the pair were cast together in the movie Viva Las Vegas. Anne Margaret was a rising star by that time, having already enjoyed a massive hit with musical comedy Bye Bye Birdie. But Elvis was still more the established of the two, with Viva Las Vegas being his 14th film. In Anne Margaret's autobiography, Anne Margaret My Story, which came out in 1994, she remembered her first meeting with the King of Rock and Roll. The actress recalled of the encounter, "Except for a piano, the MGM soundscape where Elvis and I met was empty. In the background, a few of his guys hung around observing their boss, a ritual I would soon come to expect." Apparently, director George Sidney introduced Anne Margaret to Elvis as a wonderful young lady, the Swedish star wrote. "The significance was lost on Elvis and me. I reached out my hand and he shook it gently. 'I've heard a lot about you,' we said at the time, which made us laugh and broke the ice." The first encounter was, in its own way, a meet cute. "I'm not really sure why I was so calm about meeting the king," Anne Margaret admitted. "After all, this was Elvis, a man who had captured the heart of almost every woman in America. Little did I know he would soon capture mine." As filming on Viva Las Vegas commenced, the media noted how much time Elvis and Anne Margaret were spending together. Rumors subsequently swirled about a possible romance, but Elvis was already taken, or at least he was supposed to be. After all, the famous singer was still involved with Priscilla, and he'd even intimated to the young woman's family that he would eventually marry her. Interestingly, the 1994 biography Elvis and the Memphis Mafia shed some light on Elvis's apparent fondness for both Priscilla and Anne Margaret. One of the book's authors, Elvis's close friend Marty Lacker, revealed, "I knew Elvis had to make a decision between them, and I thought if push came to shove he would choose Anne." Meanwhile, Elvis's cousin Billy Smith also contributed to the book. He divulged, "My personal desire was for Elvis to marry Anne. She made his life easier because she understood him and didn't make any demands on him. She even understood his needs for his friends, the Memphis Mafia. Priscilla never understood that." According to Lacker, Anne Margaret wasn't pleased when Elvis went back to Priscilla. He recalled a moment when he met the actress on the street and she asked him, "What the hell's wrong with your boss? One minute we're in love and the next minute I don't hear from him again. He won't even take my calls." Moreover, Priscilla was also furious at the situation. Indeed, in 1985, she wrote a revealing piece for People magazine titled, "He Saved Me for So Long." In it, she wrote that even after filming on Viva Las Vegas finished, the problem was that his life still included Anne Margaret. The newspapers were reporting their blossoming affair daily. And one day, Elvis brought Priscilla some infuriating news about the other woman. Elvis returned from the studio one afternoon, carrying a newspaper and fuming. "I can't believe she did it," Priscilla wrote. He flung the paper against the wall in disgust. "She had the goddamn nerve to announce we're engaged." "Every major newspaper in America's picked it up," Elvis told Priscilla. "The rumors spread like a disease. Honey, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. The press will be hanging around and following me all over for a statement." Priscilla reacted with rage and flung a vase across the room, screaming out her dislike of Anne Margaret. Elvis apparently responded violently to this. According to Priscilla, he grabbed her and flung her onto the couple's bed. Then he snapped at her. "Look, damn it, I didn't know that this was going to get out of hand. I want a woman who's going to understand that things like this might just happen. Are you going to be her or not?" Yet, despite everything, Elvis and Priscilla eventually married in May 1967. However, there were rumors that this had only happened because of the considerable and questionable age gap between them. Indeed, when Elvis and Priscilla had first met in 1959, he was 24 years old and she'd been a mere 14. Our vows were taken and we were now husband and wife. Priscilla wrote in her people piece. I remember flashbulbs popping, my father's congratulations and my mother's tears of happiness. Mrs. Elvis Presley. It had a different ring, a nicer sound than previous labels such as Constant Companion, Teen Heartthrob, Live-In Lolita, or Lover. 6 months into my pregnancy, Nancy called and said she'd like to give me a baby shower, Priscilla continued. I didn't know her that well and thought it a little strange that she was so accommodating. But Elvis assured me that she was very nice and that I should get to know her. Nancy was very friendly and very supportive. I found that I liked her and I decided to ignore the rumors. There were other problems, however. When Priscilla was heavily pregnant, Elvis announced he wanted a trial separation. I wanted to die, Priscilla admitted. I was 7 months along and couldn't believe what I was hearing. I don't think Elvis really intended to leave me. It wasn't his style. The world is filled with stories going viral every single day. But how many of these sites can you actually follow? We understand that your day should start with positive stories, stories that resonate with you. And so we started JoJo Stories. Our mission is to create meaningful stories that cover everything from animals to anthropology, history to environment and lifestyle. The kind of content you read on our site will be one you'll want to share with your family and friends. We hope you'll join our growing family and be part of our community. Welcome to JoJo Stories, jojostories.com.